Tegang teknologi ako mauvitu.
Okay.
How long do we have, Nili?
Great to be here, brothers, sisters.
Okay, let me just get into this.
We are on cover.
Flip that old school sound, do it in new ways. Took me a long time, but never quit it, no way. And I ain't high nothing, I ain't doing two pays. On my beat, flying kicks, kinda like I'm no way. One of a kind man, but not often a kind man. I'm always on the pitch, I'm not a line man. Get it? Yeah. You know the deal. Get the drums up. Yeah, turn the beat up.
Turn the beat up.
The learning curve for us after the World Cup was World Cup's a different tournament. You know, every team, you know, it doesn't matter if you're Georgia, Namibia, Japan, everybody's here to win. And wherever you rank on the table, with rugby ranking, it doesn't matter. It goes out the window. So I think there was a big learning curve that, you know, everybody wants to win. And looking at that, we're only going to get better by learning from our mistakes and going forward. Tongan Rugby Union is not in a good shape at the moment. A lot of hard work's been done right now to get it back on the road again. So I still feel that I still have much to offer in the team, and my time's not up yet. But you know, it's not long to go. I believe there's a lot of young players coming through, and I guess when your time is up, step aside and let those young guys come through and take care of the job. Whatever I got left in the tank, hopefully I can help out my country and leave it in a better shape where I found it before.
My advice for young players coming through: 1. Self-belief. 2. Hard work. 3. Sacrifice. But most important of all, put God at the center of everything you do.
Wow.
Over to you guys.
Hello.
Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, guys, let's start. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're coming from. Good evening to our family, the Tongan pro athletes of today's and yesterday. It gives me a great pleasure and an honor to introduce our guest tonight. His name is Nili Latu. Let me just give you a little bit of his history here. Let's see. So Latu began his rugby career with the New Zealand side Bay of Plenty in 2004, spending 3 years there as well as playing Super Rugby for both the Chiefs and the Hurricane. In late 2006, Latu was drafted into the Hurricane squad as cover for All Blacks absentees Jerry Conlon and Rodney Soelo for the 2007 season. Moving to Japan in 2007, Latu then spent 8 years with the NEC Rockets, making 63 appearances and scoring 165 points in his time with the club before signing for Newcastle. He made his debut for Tonga against Japan in 2006 and went on to captain the side in the 2015 Rugby World Cup, which saw his side playing world champions New Zealand at Newcastle St. James Park. He joined Newcastle in the summer of 2015 from Japanese side SEC Green Rockets, becoming an instant hit with his dexterous and prolific approach, back row play. Named as 2015-16 Players Player of the season after a sensational debut campaign. He finished the season as the club's top try scorer after dotting down a hat trick against Sail Shark on the final day of the campaign, going on to become Tonga's most captured player of all time. His handling and work rate makes him a standout performer. A serious knee injury sustained on national team duty severely restricted his appearances during the 2016-17 campaign, but he returned at the end of the season and went on to score in Tonga's Pacific Nation Cup victory over Samoa in the summer of 2017. In 2018, Latu left Newcastle Falcons after helping the Falcons achieve 4th in the Aviva Prime Premiership, the highest finish in 20 years. He moved to Japan to continue playing rugby, where he still lives and play today. Nili, mao lao mai o fefia o tot mau lalo ke afima ke fin ke tau talanoa. Koret bege ke humai o introduce ba kalmai ki kolon nang hak me ai ko matua we kui da hak me ai ko ilo be ko na dol na nau support go he time na ke kamata hak ai. So welcome, my man.
Malo tau lava. Malo te ku ko mau he wata ko tara noi. Kai tonga tuku pe famalo mo fabita ki ele tau yof. Ko ni fai mai tau mui. lava ke tau vai vai ngai le ko tope ko tau inasi mala o sipoti ngai pe ko e whakarea ko whaiki moa ko kuingoa ko te Nili Latu pia ko kulere mai me kolo lai taha I tonga tapu ko awha ya ko kuongo matua ko Nili Latu mo karia mata latu o ha me whanau mau toko fitu mau toko no tangata ka taha whiwhine pia ko tai nimi ko mau hoa ki kolo motua ke o hoa whanga ko Lavinia Latu ka pe ko maki I whanau e toko wha o whiwhine pia ko tangata pia tai nimi o ko ilotonga siapani ka kui nusila family ka ku hange ko ai aho ni neonga whangata ka utawa whita I pe o whaeki tau ke ina se mo tau family malo
Malo. Malo Nili.
Manori, ko mantuk bena da fe tau laki ho gi ha ugen gi Frisco, I think back in the day. Like I think Rosa he came out to Steven Seller's house. But I wanted to ask, you've been in the league you've been playing rugby for a long time, and you've been coaching. What makes you, keep going? And I know you've been in the league, you've been in rugby for about 15 or more years, and you're still in it. And has to be a satisfying feeling to still be playing and coaching. So what keeps you going?
I think firstly what got me into the sport especially growing up in a big family with my parents with my siblings was always a struggle, and I think every Tongan family has a story to tell. I saw the struggle that my father and my mother went through, and growing up in Tonga, coming late into New Zealand, school became a second. For me, it was a second habit for me. But I knew the only way out I could help my father and my mother was through sports and rugby. And I think that was my driving point from day one. And now I have my own family. The one thing I share with my wife, there's a lot of things that I didn't get when I was growing up in Tonga. I think these days kids got iPhone, have lunch, and have the shoes to go, a pair of shoes. But one thing I do work hard and I put on my sleeve every time I play or given the opportunities as my kids in my family. And I think when I looked at the whole plan of my whole rugby career, I'm turning 39 next month, and man, it's amazing what God's plan for myself.
Yeah.
I thought I was done in the age 31, 32, but when I look back and what I've been blessed with, growing up in ki wharehati pe I awha, I he kukui, David Talanglang, to where I am now. I've traveled the world. I've seen so many great things, and ko me pe ko whakaukau kai ko tāpaki pen me rotua. Pa neongo ku alwe tau ka alwe motua. But I know there's still a purpose for me. Waipene purpose ka te au. I mala e ko iai pa o tui koe. Ko mea lai taha ko encourage ke kau wa inga, especially ka lapu ko iai. Mau kau tonga he ni. We can make plans, but God has better plans for us. Ko tui maha koe mea ia, you got to stay grounded, be humble in what you've been given. So this week is our beginning of our campaign, our season. It's been a long 7 months. So, but yeah, it's kanga koe lau. I'm just really blessed to malai gonu ko iai I he tahapua ki pa mo ofa eki. I ngai tau lahi gonu. I think this year I'll be haluan ke tahawal pe tau tahi
Wow.
as a professional player.
Wow.
But I'm always appreciate the God I always put God through everything I do.
Sure.
He directs me in whatever I do in rugby as well.
Yeah. That's all our stories are almost the same, as athletes. It's, especially us that were born in Tonga, that migrate to other countries to, our parents took us there to get a better life. As they say, we brought you out here so you can have a better life than they were. But, our story is the same as when you make it to that level, it's humbling. And like you said, God had a plan for you and everybody else that has been in that field. So, we appreciate you coming on. And, as we talk to other athletes that comes on this page, it's great to hear the stories that they have of what makes them, made it to the level they made it to today. But you've been in it for a long time. Like for you being in 18 years in American football, hardly anybody makes it to 18 years playing in the league in the NFL. I mean, if you make it 5 years, that's great to being in the NFL. There's a couple guys that still played now that they've been in the league maybe 14 or 15 years, but hardly. I mean, there's only a few guys that can do that, but you've been in it for 18 years, so that's great. So,
To me, that's a will of a person. I mean,
yeah,
to last that long. Not too many in the NBA, the NFL will last that long. We
No.
got a guy named Tom Brady, the quarterback for Tampa Bay now, but he had a long stint with New England Patriots. And he's in his 40s. I think he's like 42 this year.
Yeah, it's 42.
And still playing. So, you gotta have the will for it. And I commend you for that, Nili, to last that long. Because, we all know longevity, we have to have it to play in these games, especially these physical games and rugby at that. But great job of keeping yourself in shape and playing for that long. But are you still a coach player or are you still playing, Nili?
Yeah, I'm player coach at the moment. But most time, like I thought I wasn't gonna play this week, but I'm starting this week, so it's good. It keeps me on my toe, and it's a challenge. But just I'm passionate about passing on my experience.
Congratulations
to the younger generation now.
Yeah,
Nice.
Man. We spoke with a guy, Fahau Walu, and his son plays there, I guess, with you. How does it feel to represent your country and also to go play for Japan? And is there an intermixed feeling or?
Oh, definitely not. No one can take their pride away wearing the red jersey. Yes. I think we're just blessed to be here because they put food on the table for the family. Yes. Apart from that, it just becomes a job.
Yes.
But your heart's always back home. Where it's either with rugby or with your family. But that's there's a lot of Tongans here in Japan making a name for themselves, and I think they can all say they're only here because of what they can provide for their family back home, which is awesome.
Yeah. So it's the kids are playing in Japan right now. Are they from Tonga or they from all over the from New Zealand, Australia?
Mostly are from Tonga. I think some of the university here, they have connection with Atele, Toloa, and Liahona. And I believe we bring around about 20 new kids every year.
Every year.
Wow.
Wow.
So we are exporting a lot of our good young players in Tonga. I think it's just because we don't have an academy. There's no setup to hold them back in Tonga. But the opportunity to come and go university and get a degree, but also after 4 years, you get picked up by a club here as well. So it's it's a no-brainer not to take the opportunity and come over and have a go in Japan.
Sorry, somebody's writing that there's some background noises. But I guess Tim just took care of that. But hey, Isi, welcome our colleague here, Istolomaka, former, I guess, teammate or coach to you. I know Isi probably has something to say to you or ask you. We'll give him that this opportunity, please. Isi.
Yo, malo, Nili. O hatu ko family masi maga last time na feta ura kai malo wafta ha be malo na talano ai mago ime begu filave gai mago na kawani ka tangata tu monga he tau timi go waf mafitu ga wamsia Nili ke lava pe wa inga wa ke tolu hiva. Oh, na kaya pia tolu. Kalau malala si Nili na pavange bete ke au ke fano masi ke vai nga be kago ke vai nga au ke tau na tolu hiva ta muno be ke familia mago ko ho be Nili mago ko kai nga be o mi ko motua o tuilahi o tau fia fine ta fe podano al Nili nga ko tunga na ne au sia kai tunga malunga o pito tau fia ko to ai ka go gila be ke ne na la be ke Nili ke tau sia nge ki tola he tau fana tonga ko na avi ki siapan mon be la Nili ko ke ha me tonga ke na ho ko ti ai ka o tu ya time de ta na ke ta ta no me si o na I Tonga me ni ke lava ke ha me ke singa ke ma wa panga ke tokoni o tau fonua ke aka pulu e ko ko sia pan ni be wa ave ke ai fana go na unga Nili o ave mo nusila pa go nusila ya o ave me ta tolu ta fata nima ka go o ave ukorisi ave ukorisi o ako hange go Sacred Heart ko Nili na mago be ta katolika I Nusila hange go bia go ya na mana tui hange go Daniela Tupo na go be mo Sacred Heart go alu be he akapulu mo foi pe ai pa bueno hikima ta wala bi ni aseria hangi go Solomon kata na liki na yago be mo yago katolika Sacred Heart na mau yai ka go hangi ka ore ka besio na o mai na to ria ke hiki be ko ka ore ko na sepani mau ki la yang na to ka go tu e ko be ka ore ka de kila o de ki fo o ke i fo sia pan mau ave be ke i ki ma ke ta tolu ka go sio ke ngo me na la be ga Nili ke to la ka pa to go fu ave ke university mo Pepe Nusila ave me tau taua tolu. O ska pa no fa be wa bia go Nusila. Okay, porque mai fui do ofisa go, porque mai fui do. Me o sang go fu tua go ya. O no fu algo to ka re ka wa bia Nusila. Me ni ke tau la. O tala noa. Ki tai mo de tau tala noa mo si o ga I Tonga tai mini. Ke na finga ya fonga. Ke ma wa panga tau fonua unga. Ke fa le re tau ka pulu I Tonga. Ke go mo la me na la ga Nili. Peke ha me Tonga ke na hogo ke pa go mare be do no foi Tonga ta au mu ku ha mu e fa ka o me be Tonga ai fa malo ga Nili la me ke ta pola ma fi o fa to o e fi se o de go ta o fa di family malo
La ga Nili ke me go no ho ha mai ga Istolo
O fatu isi, o fatu ke family. ko te ko topic e wa ke isi. Pero ko mea peni me follow tau fio me moi ai more mai tau whanau ke iki ki Japani pa ko New Zealand. Ko pa te tau sio ka hanga ka kaureka kana ko whakalau mai isi. Hanga ka tau sio ka malakai whikitoa. Na e hua ke pe under 20 pa nau. Tō mai pe ki New Zealand o break. Tō mea rewa tau viviri ka tau loto. Hanga ka na tānoa kia isi. Ka mea ko ke tau lava yo set up o hatau academy pa mga mea ki tau puke tau whanau. Ke kahau. Ka ko tui te tau lapita tauria o. Kia te au pima wakai. Te tau lapita tauria. Ma tuka kai tonga tau tō kai loto lahi tau tō. Pero koe te tau lapita tauria o whai ngahi ngau e koe ni. Ka ko tui koe mea lai taha u newe sia e tau ngau e ho tau whanua. Koe whakavaha vaha. Ko tui koe palopare ma lai taha ia. Ka pai kia tau lava o whetuku lolo. Ia tau tolu pe e tau whakalere tau wakapuru. He ke tau lapita tauria o manga ki mua he langa. Ko me whaka amu koe ni tau whai. O whi mau, koe, ka tau koe ni koe tau whakaukau ke langa koe, ke tau sio ke kahau e tau whanau. E pau ke tau holoki ngahi au nang o vai vahe e tau tui whakakapuru, whakapolitiki, po ngahi mea ho tau whanua. Ka lawa ke tau ngau e whakataha, ki hafo i tau mua e taha lelei ke kahau e tau whanau. Pea ko tui, ke te au, ke ha me whengataa, ke te kau tolu mo tau kakai. Ka koe mea lai taha ia ko usio ki ai. Pea benefit le rei anu sila, ko si apani, ko pehe ki asle ria. I he tau whanau. Ko tui rewa, maha ko taimi pe. Ko taimi pe ke tau manga ki mua. O whai ha mea au. Ke tau lawa i o puke ai. Ai mai mua ho tau whanua. Kai pehe ke whanau tupu ai. Ho tau whanua.
Fidu, what's your take on that, buddy?
Satoko Pepe.
Hey, Pe.
Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming through. Ko vio ke kia I go agree with what Nili is saying. Ko time ke tau whaia ha mea ki ai, he? It's too... Haka lawa Nili ko molo ene o sipa inga ko lau koe union ni ka wate ke represent a country i seve toko fitu pe ko i kale tahi o. Mai no re vai heke ke tue lava ko ia o wa inga mahati mea ta. Ka pau e whemau koe o preki, heke ke lava ko wa inga he o preki, no matter what, it won't change, the rule won't change. But the thing about molo koe, problema molo e, because molo plays sevens for Tonga, ka koe mena underage, he? Koe whai whait koe o preki ia, nei tangi na keke hanga toho ia me he ongo mātua molo, ke allowed ke whakamfua molo ke wainga he toko whita tonga. Fair play to molo, but other than that, the big country they play, they got a little loophole around everything. Eh? Whatever rules they put out, they always have an excuse for something. But other than that, I agree with Nili. Nili, I got a question for you, mate. Can you please share your experience? You've been around the world, been to spend your career, started in New Zealand, moved to Japan to England. What's your experience between those three? What's the difference?
Ko Maria hoi whehui. Ko tu koe taimlahi ku sio ke New Zealand, Japani mo UK. Ko New Zealand ia ku he kamata ko vai ngai. It was more, I think it's just a Tongan thing. Ngau ta whemau ke tala noa I tato he TV and our Tongan paper. We wanted to be known in our own country. But it still didn't pay the bills. Japan is different. Japan pays the bill. I think being here for 8 years, I just wanted a break and I wanted to refresh and have a go in UK, and that was the reason why I went to UK. But after maybe a couple of months being in UK, I missed Japan. So luckily, a lot of my good friends, Japanese friends, who are coaches now here, and that's one thing that Japan culture is really big on this respect. And the only reason why I came back, I had a lot of good friends, and I kept, I respected those older fellas, and now they are the coaches and they're running clubs. So I slide back into that mold now. So and that's the thing that I try to implant to, because we have Liaki Moli, who play for the Auckland Blues. He's here with our club. Augustine Pulu, All Black. He's here with our club. So there's a lot of experienced young Tongans are coming through. But for me, it's just not sharing what you can earn, but looking long term as well. And and that's the beauty of the game here is, you can stay as long as you can. And like what Issy was saying, maybe I can reach 40, but I think I've made up my I think I've reached and made up my mind this year that I will pull the plug. I think just with being away from my family, my son is starting college at Sacred Heart. Just being away from the family, and I think now I've had a great run with my rugby career, and I'm blessed to play this long. But I think it's time to go home and be a father to my kids who needs me more. But I'm always grateful for the opportunity that I had along the way. So I think the kids are more happy for when I decided to. I'll probably announce it later on during the year. But yeah, like what I said, I would love to make 40. I was going to sneak in as hooker, but I think I would like to get off at the airport in Auckland and walk off without a wheelchair. So I'll stay at 8.
Nili, we're hoping to have Peter Harding, I guess the new CEO or president of Tonga's team. What happens if he gives you a call and says, hey, why don't you come and help out coach? Or what if that opportunity is presented to you?
Oh, it's I would take it with both hands. I would never say no to my country.
Thank you.
And I think with whatever experience I had along the way, and there's a lot of great players along as well who are in the same boat. But that's, for me, to play for my country is an honor. If I do get the opportunity to coach as well, that's an honor. So what? No, who knows? God's got the master plan. I'm just thinking outside the circle here, but if it's part of His plan, then it's a blessing.
Okay, Hano is one of our colleagues here, one of the panels, but he had left. But he had written a question, mostly from a guy named Henry Bloomfield, who played on the U.S. team when you guys came in 2007, he says, and you played against you. But this is what he said. Nili, I don't know if you're familiar with Henry Bloomfield, who was the number 8 for the USA team. Wait, sorry. I asked him what it was like playing against the Ikaretahi team. He said his teammates were afraid of you guys. He tried his best to play hard so he could get his teammates getting out Lotolahi, but they were just in fear. I guess you guys put out that aura against the U.S. when you guys played, huh?
Yeah, I think a lot of the boys who went on the 2007 World Cup, that's something that we'll remember, and that's a special group, what we have achieved on that tour. But there was so many things that was happening back home. With the burning down Nuku'alofa and etc. So we went out, there was no support, no nothing, but we just had to stand on our own 2 feet and become a Tongan warrior. And I think it didn't matter because we just got beaten by Samoa just leading up to that tournament, and and we haven't had a great record against America, and especially we had England and South Africa, but some of those our players stood out from 1 to 23, our coaching staff. And I think, that's something that's unique to hold on to as players. And as we get older, we all believe in different things these days, but that should not get in the way of the achievement that the brothers and the coaches achieved on that tournament.
Yes, if you guys can see behind me on this team that we had here, this guy that I have my mouse on is Henry Bloomfield. And man, this guy here is Konai Bloomfield. I mean, they were brothers here that I felt, because Henry went and made the U.S. team. But if these kids were to grow up in Tonga, I think they would have very well played in that team. That's how talented these Bloomfield boys are. D. Bloomfield, the former hooker for the Ikaretai. And Henry Bloomfield is the son of the older brother, Vilaketi Bloomfield. So they have been represented in Tonga very well with, with their teammates here. So anyways, Nili, Galo, I know you have something to say. We don't want to just take the whole time, so chime in, please.
First of all, it's good that you mentioned time, Bill, because I am the fun police for the time. I'm just letting you know that we have at the most 20 more minutes with Nili. Actually, we have 15 more minutes. It's 5:05. So if we can have nice short questions and more of Nili's talking.
Yeah.
Nili, just one quick question from me. What is your most memorable Ikaletahi game you have played?
Well, there's so many. I think the one with when we played South Africa, 2007. We were not even. We got told that we weren't even going to go close. But I saw the boys, the way we prepared for it. It was just amazing how much we put into it. And even though we didn't win, but that's one game that I will never forget, how much the boys put in for the jersey. And, it's the one that stand out for me the most. Sorry, Caroline, because I was supposed to get on early on the Zoom, but and I got 6 minutes to join the meeting before our training starts.
It's okay.
So we have 5 minutes.
Yeah, so you got 5 minutes. No worries, man.
No, let's go ahead and cut it short. Easy, wow, Miguel.
They go malo benir for malo de la me programa o fala head go ba ko ge do ba de la be go ge fa no finga ere ba re ko
Finga ere ba re ko tio.
Fui ta fa o si fa no.
Yeah, about easy.
Yeah. Nili, malo bito lava mai masi. Thank you for coming in, man. I know you're busy, but thank you for the time that you have for us, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Doko Vatu.
Vatu, Nili.
Thank you,
Malo.
Nili.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Talvez me pio que me con ela que Nili.
Yeah.
Con tu que foi palo para malai ta ho go i Tonga, a me go feto que aqui,
Oh yeah.
Ego ko wausia hango time no all like Tonga. I feel like I'm an outsider.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't get the support from the clubs.
Yeah.
Like angego ni pega another tamaigi o de na wo mai na tolo.
For what reason? Go ham. Man.
Unga kung tano morning,
Yeah.
because people are listening,
Yeah.
I don't get the support. Then how can you get the best out of the players in the island, or you're going to develop them here. If you don't get the support,
right.
I hope whainga Maria Nili ke alu o whaiako I Tonga. He koe taimi na coach under 19 at Tonga. Now ilo pe Tonga, I can't take the local players to the IRB under 20, A grade. I had to come to New Zealand. I had to come to New Zealand and look for the players. But what happened? Coaches and announce on the radio, whoever wants to play for Tonga under 20, turn up. We're going to have a trials in Otahuhu.
Wow.
The problem is, those players are not. I don't believe they're good enough. So what I did, I never do that. I went to the Auckland Rugby Union, asked for their high performance program, see who's the Tongan players in the academy.
Oh, wow. So
I went there and picked, I remember I picked George Moala, Willis Halaholo, Afa Pakalani, Riaki Mori. Fetu would know these guys. Some of them make the All Blacks. And I can't pick players, announce trials to pick for the Tongan under 20 to come to Otahuhu for trials, because those guys they turn up, they're unfit. That's the thing I'm talking about. Unfit, and they get some of them selected to go play for Tonga, but when you put them in a fitness test, they all fail.
Wow.
Guys from the Auckland Academy, even though I picked players from Australia too, to make that for the Tonga under 20. And those guys went and played and kept us in the A grade. And then the next year, they want to localize the under 20. What happened? Went down again. That's the thing I'm talking about. I'm sure Nili will experience this if he goes to Tonga. You don't get the support from the locals. And you felt like you're an outsider coming. And that's those kind of questions I want to ask Peter Harding. How can we, I believe you need coaches that qualify to get our nation up and running. Because we have players, all these guys, all those boys I'm talking about in the Auckland Academy, they all came and played for Tonga. At the same time, they can still play for New Zealand. See, I'm talking about Yaki Mori. He played for Tonga under 20, and then next year, New Zealand picked him. And George Moala became an All Black. Willis Halaholo is doing the damage in Wales, and Wales want him to play for them. And I was hoping, oh man, why Tonga can't take him? That's what I'm talking about. It's sometimes our local coaches think, we should pick local players because they might get a chance to get a contract overseas. That's not the case.
Yeah.
Because what if you get beaten by 80 points with the local teams? Nobody want to look at that.
Right.
But when I coached the Tonga 20, I select about 8 boys from Tonga, and then the rest from New Zealand and Australia. And those guys, they all came, like some of them were in the Auckland development or Auckland team. One of the boys, he was number 8 for the Brumbies in the Super Rugby. Get those guys together. And I learned a lot of things about, the difference between local players and also the players from overseas. But some of the local boys, they hang around together. The one from New Zealand, Australia, they hang around together. I said, no, it doesn't work like that. I want you guys as Tongan, not as New Zealand or local players.
Yeah, you want them to get along. Along and hang out and share with each other what their experience are.
Yeah. But I was happy to hear Nili what he's talking about. Because O ke mau e support, he?
Ko ha uhinga o ko ke fie mau he the support from Tonga. Ko ha no uhinga. But now because they think they know more or they don't want the help or they don't want somebody to come in and tell them what to do or
Ko taimi no I Tonga e Tim Hangegoni. Matui ko head coach ko I kare and all the others will be under head coach I kare. When they picked the other coaches, I felt like they don't need my help. Enough been now ilo. But I think there's a big problem.
Yeah.
That's why class U I bet under 20 because for the locals.
Just on that, Dolo, just the sad thing is they don't let the coaches, like Dolo was saying, they don't let Dolo pick his staff or pick his players. But then when they don't win, stuff hit the fans.
Right. They blame the coach.
When the coach, when he had nothing to do with it.
Right.
They only needed him to coach, but the sad thing is, everything when you win or lose, whoever to play, they blame the coach.
Right.
Dolo, I got a question for you. You know how we had the meeting in 2011 when I came down trying to get Nili into the we had that meeting trying to what did I say? Were they on your side? Because I feel like you got forced to pull a meeting with us players to ask if Nili get in. Did you wanted to get Nili in the team but would they against you against about Nili joining us in 2011? What's the story there?
Malo, I didn't want to go to it, but we have to talk. We tell the truth about what happened in Fiji. Pedu no, remember in Fiji, Kabana Hena Nili will tell the truth. What happened in Fiji before the World Cup? Fina was injured. Fina, my brother, he was injured in Fiji. And I didn't have a specialist number 7. So what I did, I called my senior players, I talked with them. This is what I think is best for the team. And the only specialist players I can think of is Nili, because I don't believe there was no one else were up to the standard that I want but Nili. And after that, my senior players, okay, if that's how you see it, it's all okay, go along with it. And then I had a meeting with my management team, and nobody said anything. They all sit there, okay. So I called Nili from Fiji, and Nili just got back to Japan at the time. And he just got back to Japan. I called him and he said, I just arrived. And I said, can you come back? And he said, yeah, okay. And I said to him, okay, come to Tonga. And Nili came back to Tonga. When we went back to Tonga from Fiji, I got a call from the CEO, just me. I didn't realize that they already called all my management team. And this is what they said to me. This is the board I'm talking about. We were told that it was your own decision to call Nili back in the team. I said to them, there was only one guy who stood by my side, was Siwa Taumalolo. And the rest were said, it was not our decision, was only his decisions. And I said to the board, it doesn't matter if if there was my own decision, I'm the head coach. I
Right.
get for everything.
Right. You make the call.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, and they said, no, we don't want him in the team. And I said, this is for the country. Even though I said I'm not going to pick Nili, you know, for his discipline and that, but that's beside the point. You know?
Yeah. You
And
make
Nili,
the call because you're the coach.
and then Nili he got back to Tonga, but I couldn't do anything more. I asked him, you know, I want the best for the country.
Right. So it's at the it's almost like that they hire the coach, but you don't have any saying of who you hire as a player for your own team, because you as a coach should know who you want to play for you. But it's almost like the front office wants to run the whole thing, and they hire the people they want to hire. I mean, the players. You are the coach. You should be the guy that should get the players that you want.
I think Bill Parcells.
The problem that Istolo was talking about Nili, because before Istolo jumped in, became a head coach. The problem was the committee didn't pay the players back then, so Nili had enough of their BS. So he called a strike, called all the team on that year to go on the strike because they're not going to pay them. So, but on that same week they had to play the Junior All Blacks, and Nili called the strike on the committee to go. No one turned up to play. Everyone do their own thing. We have to stand together on this one, otherwise they're going to continue doing the same old thing. Promise us they're going to pay us, but they never came through with it. That's why they didn't want. It was the same committee that they kicked Nili out. It's the same one in 2011. Am I right, Dolo?
Yeah.
They're the same people that came in. I came in and called us in because we came from Fiji. They haven't named the squad for the 2011 World Cup, and I was part of it. And I just wanted to know everything. I was like, Dolo, am I in the team? But they go, but when they called the meeting and I was like, mate, this has got nothing to do with us players. It's like, can you just name the squad so we can know where we stand, so we can book flights and go back home to our family or go back to training. But it was none of that. It was all about Nili, about the committee disagreeing with Istolo about letting Nili play. And I was like, mate, this should be between you and the coach. You don't want to listen. What else he's gonna do? He won the play. Even some of the players go, yeah, let Nili in. Nili can do the job. Even the captain then, Istolo's brother, was, yeah, I can do the job, but I know Nili's the right person for the job. But they didn't agree.
And I hope our boy Peter Harding will have a different philosophy as far as hiring a coach and allow him to pick his staff. You know,
no, just on that. It's just that's the committee.
Yeah,
that was with Dolo under they picked Dolo. It was on them, but from there on, it was on the coach then to pick the players.
No, but I see the frustrations here with Coach Istolo, saying that he wasn't in control of his team. You know, Bill Parcells, former New York Giants coach, this is what he said when he ran into this problem. I am the chef. You hire me to cook. If you want me to cook, I will go and buy my ingredients. Meaning that he will get his staffs and his players. If I'm going to get fired for my cooking, it will be me. I won't get fired because of you, what you said, or what you told me to cook. But that's the philosophy of Coach Bill Parcells. And I think every coach should live by that. Before they go and sign the contract that they're going to be the head coach, hey, I better be in full control of my team before I sign this. So, man, that is really a shame. If Tonga is still like that, man, wow. No wonder why we're still down there.
Istolo, I think it's, I'd like to thank you for bringing up, it's when we're talking about something that's important, it's also difficult to talk about it because, you know, our Tongan culture, Tauhiva, often we'll be talking about really difficult things that will hurt our family and our friends and people that we work with. But that's you know, that's a very real thing about going over to Tonga and feeling left out, especially if you're going there to do something for Tonga. And, you know, even yourself, Isitola, you're a notable person and you go there, it doesn't even matter who you are really, but you go in there into the local clubs, they really give you the right amount of attention and listening time to whai aki and whetokoni aki. And I don't think it's a personal thing of the clubs, but I do think it is part of the problem of the wider problem of the way the main body of the sport is. And it's not just rugby, that they've been with rugby league and other sports, but I'm not too familiar with other sports, but specifically with rugby and rugby league. Yeah, I think some of the problem is with these clubs, you go in there and they already have this wall of defense. You know, that you're coming in to tell them what to do, coming in to make changes, and you know, we don't know much about them. We don't know much about the game in Tonga. But it might be, you know, the game in Tonga is different from the game out here. But I think that the clubs, you know, they act like that because, you know, they don't have a sense of belonging themselves to the governing body, to the main umbrella. The main umbrella is sort of like, we're this governing body here, we control the national team, but they don't give that sense of the overarching family body to the rest of the clubs and give the impression that you clubs should be doing this, developing and stuff, because when we do our competitions and our nationals, we're looking for ikaletahi players from the clubs from Tonga, you know, so it's almost as if the local clubs don't care because they already think they're not going to choose us, they're going to go to overseas and choose players there. So we're just going to do our own thing and be great in our own local competitions. But that is a very real feeling that, and it's quite sad, especially going as a Tongan. Tongan, and you go there and you feel, why don't I feel I'm not accepted as by my own people?
You know,
Right.
what just took place here with Fetu'u, you know, with his comments, to me, the players knew way too much about what the coaches is doing. And it shouldn't be talked about, you know, among the players about what the coaches is doing. The coach will have a plan. He gets it to the players and they execute. That's the way it should be. For the players to know what the coaches are doing and what they're going through, man, that's how the different vibes gets. It's just wrong. Because me running a company that I'm doing is, these guys don't have to know what these guys are doing, and these guys don't have to know what they're making, vice versa. You know, that's how you keep things confined and in a professional level. For our Tongan team to be dealing with this, you know, Coach Istolo his business is out there, we should say. His business is out there, and I guess a few of them is making decisions for him. So that's all I got to say about that. It's nothing against you, Fedu. You know, you guys, that's the way it was. But man, it's just wrong for players to know what head coaches is going through.
Yeah, and Istolo is right. You know, he was that, you know, with Nili, he played, you know, there's sometimes our Tongan players, you play a certain position when you're playing in the Tongan team, but when you're playing in domestically or especially in New Zealand or Australia, there's a different position. You're not often like Nili, you know, a flanker. He might be a flanker for Tonga, but when he comes back and plays for provincial and rep here in New Zealand, he might not be, but he was. He was a specialized person in that position. Sorry.
Definitely, yeah.
The other thing, Bill, Mau ilo pefe too, I felt like I wasn't just a coach, like there were other stuff that I was told to tell the players, but I don't think that was part of my job. Like at the camp, I have to tell the players, oh, you only get this much money. And I said, why don't you guys do that?
Yeah, that's not your job.
Yeah,
That's
the
not your
sad thing
job.
about it, they put dollar up front, and we all
Yeah.
hated dollar.
Yeah.
We all blamed dollar for that.
See, that's the problem I'm talking about.
Problem, yeah.
The players knew too much.
Yeah, they know that dollar. They know that we listen to dollar.
That's why
we run with it.
Yeah.
But like they hide behind dollar to deliver whatever message they want to send us.
So dollar is the bad guy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like it's like I can tell the players, but sometimes some of the stuff I told them I can't do it. I can't lie to the players.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be upfront with them, man. Yeah.
You know,
they won't trust you. That's the thing.
Because the problem was there was a lot of money given to the players. You know, and the players asked me, "Oh, can we get this much? Can we get 1,000 rather than 500 a week?" Because there was a lot of money coming. And I said, "That's beyond my control. They are the one who control the money."
Yeah.
But everything I have, I'm the one facing the players.
Right.
And I get the blame, but outside of my job.
That's frustrating. Yes. That's frustrating, man. Yeah. Man.
Just sorry you had to deal with that.
And I tell you, there was a lot of money. I was called to and there was a lot of money involved, and I'll never speak about it.
Wow.
What about the sad thing about it that Tolo can vouch for me every day when we're in camp in Tonga, that we go into different village every night after training, straight after training, shower, on the bus, next village. And, we see the money coming in but we don't see it at all. And the problem is that we got sick of it. Boys got sick of it. Got to pull a meeting together, call a meeting, then get all the boys, mate, we're no longer gonna do this. We're gonna, if they call us to go again after training, everybody just go do their own thing.
You guys felt used, right?
Yeah, we felt used because we don't see that money coming in.
So nothing came to the players.
Yeah, came to the village, to the committees.
Yeah.
The players don't see it, but they're the one, the people is the one giving us the money. It's the money for us players.
Right.
Just helping us out, but we don't see it all. That's why it was before the World Cup, we had a big, we called the strike, and everybody didn't want to follow the committee anymore. And we just agreed, make sure you're on time for training. That's it.
But where the money was going? I mean,
good question, Tim. I wish
no, but
remember these money comes in without a receipt or anything.
Right? So, there's no receipt. It's all cash.
I was told it's for the some of the money will be saved for the next year for the women's team.
Oh my God. So you guys were fundraising for the women's team, not for your own team.
Man, I better go and collect those funds for the women's team then.
Yeah, there you go, Carlo. It's waiting
Man,
for you.
we've been fundraising all these years. We didn't know that there's actually money there for it.
We
Sige, wanga tau tanoa ilo mai kalo.
we were lucky to have a team for the World Cup, because the team were going to strike on Saturday before we traveled to New Zealand on Monday.
Wow, wow.
Honest, you asked for two.
Jeez.
Because I remember that Saturday, we had the final training in Pangai, in Pangai Sea. And then after the training, I excused myself because my wife's sister was getting married at I forgot where, but the team was supposed to have lunch in Atata. Have you do what?
Yeah.
And I excused myself, so I went to my wife's sister's wedding. Ki motu mai pe hanga mai pe ko ki tonga. Ngalo ya hingo ki motu.
Atata. Atata.
Ikai. Ta potu mai pe. Fao bet kagai kayo.
On Sunday? How go on?
No, this was Saturday.
Oh, you mean Pangai Motu?
Pangai Motu, My sister's, my wife's sister got married Saturday, so the team went to Atata for lunch. I went to the wedding. And I got a phone call said, hey, the team's going to split up. I said, what now? The team is in Atata. No, they're going to split up. The boys going to strike. They're going home. So I said, okay, I'm going to come. So the first boat, I jumped on it with my wife. We went to Veitongo. The players already start leaving.
Wow.
O kamata ke matuku mai ka tamaya, pa ka me mari ko sona ta malolo na lagi mo mai mafeta lagi tu pe he afe ko ki soka. I Veitongo ba o ke ko algo feta mai sona e fogi ki akame. Ka o silo ko fa matala mai ka tamaya matuku ka tama. Ba u ya ha. Ba ta ofikado o melere ka tama o si ko kamata ni ke matuku. Ke ma timia ka pana matuku ta mai ki ke ma timia ke ma kapu.
The biggest game should be the attention should be all on the players and the coaches.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Pero mau alo do ke soka, alo do matoria o fonu mai soka ya. Ko sia sia ni o ko te fa do tu ka ke sia sia ko hambe ko go wa pal balema, Pero alo do ui mai ki o tanga na do. Que na fetongi que mau que fai lotu si fa si kakai gona na sia si Pero io mai ta magi pe mau que fai lotu pa alo sia ska de huma sia ta fai lot. O sea ba nga ka mau tu kana tu tano que poate. E na loto mama I ko foi loto mama ta magi ma tugu e na fika e talange pure e ange na top apu. Ta ko foi loi peia.
Foi loi peia.
Ko ia fetu
Yeah. But the funny thing is, Tolon, we did go to Atata.
Oh, yeah.
We went, the reason because none of the boys been there. So we all agree, we go Atata, have lunch, show love to the Atata family, then after that, when we come back, everybody do their own thing. Pack your bag and leave. And Tolo said, I think Sodla was the first one he saw, so he pulled everybody back. I was already in the car, then Tolo and rest of the players came back, so I had to get off and go in. Like,
my gosh, that was a big mess.
Go heka mai go me bangai motu go ki mea malo to tahau na tatangi telefoni e na fenga mai unga na ilo ma go be e fano me get mai ki
Yeah.
And it was lucky, otherwise he ke ma ti me ke wo kapu.
Man.
That's the problem. Tau albe me tonga Saturday, Monday be algi o kalan o sala pe me gato ai.
I would like to thank you for making it to the World Cup that year. Because, you know, that was the first year that the stadium mob flag begun. it was for you guys that year. So, you know, you must have brought back some good spirit because you did unite everyone else's hearts here in New Zealand and around the world at that World Cup. And flags, you know, that year flags were everywhere. That was the first time the world saw so many flags in a stadium, and it was everywhere. People were painting houses red. People were painting roads red. You know, for you guys first started that.
Shut down the airport too.
Yeah, you shut down the airport. One guy was arrested.
That's nearly 3 hours.
Trying to paint one of the runways red.
From the airport to my hotel, it took like 45 minutes. It took us 3 hours to get there.
Wow.
So you must have brought some sort of good spirit, and we like to thank you for going through that struggle. And yeah, the Kimui Maya, you know, MM team were a phenomenon, but this was the team that started it, the 2011 World Cup.
He suggested in my Facebook, Nili Latu Sake. He says, how about creating a single rugby academy in Tonga to create the high performance environment for local players to train in, supported and funded by the TRU? And he's saying, pipe dream? It may be, Shane. But what do you think about that, Fidu?
Man, it's like me and Talos been saying, Nili been saying, it's been a long time coming. They should be on it already.
Yeah, it should have been there already.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is, if you go and Talo can vouch for me too on this one. I show up to the TIU. You know who the CEO is, but there's no one else. Who's in the committee? There's only one person on top, and everybody up in the bottom. Nobody knows. But you know who Saucy is, though? Remember Saucy?
Huh?
Remember Saucy? That one guy there always.
Yeah. He works there. Yeah.
As the CEO and him just working by himself. We don't even know how they're gonna create an academy when the committees are not sorted themselves.
Could this be run privately by somebody?
Yeah, we can.
Somebody privately come in and start his own thing, and then has nothing to do with them.
Yep, we can do that. People can do that.
Is there any like camps for these kids at age 7, 10 to start?
I don't think so.
No, I think you started when you go to primary school and high school, especially in high school now. It's just high school.
I mentioned
sorry, go ahead.
I mentioned a while back, go Tamape for Ui Paki, he's getting kids from I think 7 to 11 or 12, somewhere around there, and getting them to run. And just yesterday, I watched under 16, the league from Tonga. The kids was playing. I mean, man, and what got to me is these kids are fighting. If you can't teach that at 8-year-olds, to become, players at 14, 15, 16 that look like that they was playing, these kids are fighting among each other. And man, what made it worse is the camera's right there and a few ladies on the side. They're the ones who's egging it on. Hoka! And, and I'm like, oh my goodness. These are the type of things that we have to get rid of for them to come and perform, outside here. With all the tier good or the good teams. But man, what a shame to see that, at this young age. Under 16 is what it says.
Yes. I know. It's
the good thing about it is they started under 16, which is it's a start. But the doubtful there is no backbone. The committees don't have
disciplinary.
Disciplinary, no direction.
No at all. They just playing for the fun of playing the game.
Yeah.
You got nothing to look forward to. Like, here's the Tongan under 16. Go ahead. But right now it's just for the fun of playing rugby.
Yeah.
But it's
See,
also
whoever the new coach is, he has to go down to this level and say, listen, I want you guys to pay attention to what you're doing and learn all you can from these coaches. Because one day you guys are going to come and wear these red jerseys and represent the country. I mean, if you set that mindset to the kids at that young age, that way they have something to play for. Rather than just hanging out for two. They're just playing because of the fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying, Bill. Is that the governing body is not set up in a way that that serves the stakeholders, the other clubs, and it doesn't, the clubs, the kids, they're not in a mind frame that they're in this club and that when they play their national comp that they might be a potential to play for Igaletahi. They don't have that mindset, know. But that's also because it's not set up like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, crafted to be like that. Well, it might be, but it definitely hasn't been activated like that or run like that. And hence we get people like, Istolo go there or anyone go in there and you feel like an outsider.
Yeah, when I got out of football, I actually ran a camp. I had a camp for 25 years for young kids from 5 years old all the way up to high school. And the difference between, when the kids came in at that 5 years of age, by the time he reaches to 16, 17, you can tell the big difference of how they're progressive going of their talent is. And you can tell the discipline they have, because what I did with the camp is that I brought in players, professional players, to talk to the kids as some motivation speakers, and plus just to help them with some of the technique stuff. I also brought in police department to come talk to the kids and have them talk to them about they're friends with them, not enemies with the police department. And the discipline in that I saw it's very, tremendously, it worked. It worked for some of these kids. But that's why I ask if there's anything like that going on in Tonga, because I think our kids really needs that discipline as an athlete. I think a lot of our athletes, we can have them go back to Tonga if we ask them to go back to Tonga, and if there's a program like this or a camp like this for the kids once or twice a year, we can go there and teach the kids and a discipline of playing sports, because playing sports you have to compete, not go in there and get mad and punch somebody because he tackled you too hard or he scored on you or that type of stuff. So it's
one of the fights that I saw with the kids yesterday. It was funny, You know how they tackle in the league, and they lay on them,
They lay
and
on
hold
you,
them down, The kid that was underneath got mad at that, but they too about to kid. They gotta teach the kids. That's part of the game.
That's part of the game. Yeah.
That they tackle them, fute hake tamai lalo, but they holding them, The kid was mad at that yesterday.
Yeah. See, and then right away that kid should be kicked off the team.
Yeah.
For doing that.
I think
the discipline.
Also upgrade our coaches, the knowledge of the coaching stuff.
Yeah.
They gotta play they play a big part of that too, on teaching the kids how to with discipline teaching them what's wrong and right in rugby.
Yeah.
Because right now they just teach them how to run straight, be the toughest guys in there, and get up and fight when nothing your way. So we got to upgrade their knowledge too with coaching, and the ref. coaching, and the refs.
And the rest.
Killing us.
Yeah, because the support is there for Tonga. The people of Tonga support, the team from Tonga. Even Taikale the league and everything. I mean, like you said, Fitu, you guys went to the village, and they were giving money for you guys. The money was coming to you guys, and the support is there for you guys. Man, and then you turn around, that money comes in, go in somebody else's pocket, not going to the team where that money is supposed to go.
It was not just the village, also the church.
The churches, yeah.
The donation from the churches was so much, and also the Pacific Hardware Timber, they had a big donation for the team, and the problem was, the daughter of I forgot the name, gave the checks to the players, and that's how the players knew about money.
Oh.
And they keep asking me, "Oh, there's so much money coming. Can we get our payment like 500 more? Because there's a lot of money coming." And they told me to tell the players, but the players knew I'm going to lie to the players, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest issue. I said, no, I can't lie to the players. The players knew there's money coming.
Yeah.
Because some of the money came to them first.
So they got the money, so they knew money was coming in, so they're asking for more money.
They were asking they got 500 a week, but they're asking for just extra 500 to make it 1,000 a week.
A week, yeah.
Right.
And for the players to receive a check of like $40,000, just one $40,000, like, can you lie about that? That doesn't include the donation from the villages, the churches, and that.
Yeah.
I just hope that this program doesn't hurt you guys' chances of ever becoming head coaches in Tonga again. Eh?
No. Sorry,
no. Yeah, go ahead.
Mom, it's good that we talk about the truth.
Yeah.
If this is what we're about. Eh?
Yep.
That's the only way we can move forward.
Exactly.
If we just keep quiet about it, then how can we move forward?
Yeah.
See, and our new CEO, Peter Harding, this is something that he can learn from, hear it and see it and go a different direction. Don't just try to come in and tackle the things in that way, because, man, apparently there is too much. I didn't even know we were in this deep of corruption.
No kidding, man.
My goodness.
Biggest game.
What happened, how when we got to New Zealand, we had to go to that dinner. They said it was for the players. Whatever happened to that one? Because we heard we got 60 plus grand over New Zealand dollars on that one, but we only seen 60.
They had there was a committee in Auckland organizing a dinner for us, but what I did, I only took the players that they were not in the squad of 22 to the dinner, and it was packed. It was like 30,000. It was the hotel.
Jeez.
Was the hotel? I think they oversold the tickets, and there were people just standing around. They bought the tickets, but there was no seats available, and the hotel was full. And but for some reason, we don't even know what happened. They said, "Oh, we had to pay, for the cost of the hotels," and then it was supposed to be the fundraising for the team,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up, I don't know how many the players got money out of that,
The same people that came up north with the fundraising there, they came up north. They hand everybody an envelope. Man, tell you, I opened the envelope. I had $60 in there.
My gosh.
But for a table of 10 was $3,000.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I had $60 out of that.
And like I said, like mana toko na mano tupe kakai.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing is when they the funny
What a
thing is,
shame.
like, yeah, we're gonna get paid today, boys. We're gonna get paid. The next minute, the man, one of the comedians, I think the president, got up and said a speech and was crying in front of us. Yeah, boys, here come the money. Next minute, everybody opened up $60.
My gosh.
We can laugh about it now, but it's actually quite sad.
It's so you guys split the one table, huh? The $3,000 on that table, you only split that table, and the rest goes to some.
Oh man.
Goodness, man.
Yeah.
But
Also the gears, huh? They give us we're supposed to have red and white, but I didn't know. We didn't know until the caretaker, the kit man. Every training he's walking around with different belt shorts, different t-shirt on. I was like, bruh, that's supposed to be for us. Yeah, no, it's for the under 20 for someone else. I was like, no, it's for 2011 World Cup players.
Man. It's sad.
Man, I wonder if we can bring those guys and put them in court, huh? Today. It's time big if I met to them. I mean, Tuivaka is carrying a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah?
And we
should bring these coaches.
We had a lot of we had John Alomu there as guest speaker, Vaina Tuingamala as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that night at the dinner, eh?
Man, no wonder those 10,000 tables sold out, eh?
Yeah. yeah, of course, yeah. But for the players to end up with $60, I think was, I think the players were disappointed. They said, because we had to pay for the cost and that. The players rather have the something to eat at the hall or something where it's pay nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't have the intention, which it seemed like they didn't have the intention of giving the players a part of it, but that's what I mean. Why mention something that you don't intend to do?
Yeah.
If you're not going to give the players money, don't say, hey, you guys go and do a fundraiser here and you guys will get a part of it. Just tell them, listen, the team has to show up here. We have to show face here and stay for like an hour or two, and then we'll leave. That's it. That's all they got to know. They don't have to know you guys will get a part of this, because this is what's going to happen. The players are going to laugh at this $60.
Yeah.
I remember in 2015, World Cup 2015, the president at the time mentioning about probably go World Cup win malo go pay like tahai players. But for me, I don't think so, because I know how much money was put in. Some like Sibit,
Yeah.
Because go nga talanoa na ui au ke fare panga he minisa panga,
Okay.
and he told me, and I said to him, I'm sorry. With regarding to the money, I have nothing to do with the money.
Jeez.
I'm just a coach.
Right.
Go ahead.
And for me to hear the amount, I was going, what the hell?
Wow.
Of course. It's a natural reaction. Yep.
Because he said, the minister said to me, what are you doing with their money? I said, Oh,
What money?
I'm sorry. I have nothing to do with the money.
Wow.
I'm just a coach. I'm only look after the players.
Yeah.
Eh?
Well, that's the downfall of everything is that, the people that control the money, it's not going to where it's supposed to go, but it's for their own use, and it's never going to change unless
Tim, what I'm talking about now, I've never spoke about it. Eh?
what
Because because I know I'm gonna time I'm I was kind of shocked. What? That much money?
wow.
Eh? This doesn't include the money from outside.
Yeah.
The
Eh?
money that's donated for you guys to use for the team.
Yeah.
Wow.
From one of our guys on Facebook, Tongia Waitaki, and he says, what we can do to stop or help our players on the national team. Does that make sense to you guys? Or for you guys?
I think he just meant, what can you do to stop these guys taking the money from the team? Unless it's run privately, the government's going to have their hand in it no matter what, right? Is that the thing?
Well, at the time, the government, I'm talking about the government donation for the team.
Oh, for the team.
Knew nothing about it. Eh?
Oh.
Let me try to clarify what Tim's saying. Maybe he's saying that who hired Peter Harding? Was it the government or was it TRU? Or are they the same? Is that right, Tim?
Yeah.
That's between the government and the TRU and the IRB. Eh?
And IRB. Okay.
And because the IRB play a big part of that. But
who is the IRB, please?
The IRB is, I think the IRB, Peter Horn. Eh?
No, but is it international rugby?
Yeah,
Or?
World Rugby is the top. They're the people running the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
They control everything. Under them is every rugby comps and everything is under World Rugby. So World Rugby overlook everything.
Okay.
World Rugby is like the NFL.
Okay. So there's money coming from them to support the teams, right?
Yes. I've read that. Yes.
Okay.
From what I know, Tim, the IRB doesn't have any money for the team, for the Ikaritahi. But what they do, they bring funds to the TRU for development side.
Right.
Yeah?
Okay.
Ki academy me umeko ya, development go kaureka me umeko ya. That's basically because most funds it's coming from the development.
Oh. But where's the development?
I know.
I tell you what, somebody sent me a film of the office of the TRU. Eh? But I gotta say, I'm tonguing. Somebody would say, but my goodness, man. For this film was just taken a few days ago. And that place looks so run down. I mean, I don't know how people can go in there and work for 8 hours a day.
That film you sent me, Bill? The one that
Yes.
Man.
Yes. Office dollar. We get $2011. It's the one that Bill was talking about. It's all good now, yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's
look after everyone. But it's a nice little office here, though.
Yeah, it's all run down, man. It's bad. I mean, who would want to go work there?
I think the easiest answer and probably the most truthful answer to that question is you know, how can we help our boys or any sport is good people. You get the good people, right people in there, it's going to be much better.
Right.
We can you know, do a whole lot of you know, camps and high performance, and we can set up a lot of fancy titles and what forth. But if you still have the same people, and if you still pick different people with the same kind of thinking and attitude, you're going to get the same results.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Problems.
Just a good thing about Peter Harding is the new CEO.
Yeah.
So we gotta give that man a chance.
Of course. Of course.
Well, Peter Harding, all those BS people outside of rugby trying to put in their 5 cents into Peter Harding, they need to shut up and back him up. If you ain't happy, if you ain't backing help Peter Harding, don't say anything. Give the man a chance, because he know a lot about whatever he's gonna come up with. Help and support him. That's the main focus from going forward from here.
Yeah. No, I hear that. You know, it's like Tongia Waitaki, he just wrote in and said, this is an ongoing problem from who knows when. Tonga always had this problem from long ago. And it's very true. Well, like what Fatou just said here. This man is coming in. Apparently he's been there before. But now he is the top man, the CEO of TRU. We as a people have to combine and support and uplift this guy. You know, he can't do his job if we're going to sit here and try to critique everything. We're critiquing like Aloako. Come and support these people. You guys come. We need to go and help this guy. We need to put our team in a different level. See, let me put this in perspective. Coach Kalani Sitake was hired to come and coach BYU. Every year, guys, our hopes was just to make it to have a good record. You know, win 6-7 games. That'll be good for us. See, Kalani Sitake has come, and this year he was undefeated except for the last game where he lost. But you know what? We have hopes now. We have hopes now from what he's built in the last 4 or 5 years that we can challenge for the national championship at some point. That's the thing that development is about. We build a team and put it into perspective on this height. And every year, we don't come and start from down here. We come and start from here and build and go up from there every year. Because, man, right now, I mean, before it was like, okay, let's come down here and build and come back to where we was this year, 2020. We got to come 2021 and start from where we ended here and go up from there. And that's what we got to do. We got to help beat Peter Harding with his dream. He has a vision. He has a vision, and he's going to hire a coach will justify and have the same vision as him. Okay, and that's how he's gonna hire. In all reality, some of you guys are probably thinking, "Hey, I could coach that." Get a hold of Peter and get his vision. Get to where he's heading, because if you're not on that same boat, he's not going to hire you. So you guys, please, Tonga, that's all I can say is you guys need to come and help this guy. That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant at this point. We have someone that can take our team to new heights. Let's give him a chance. Let's help him rather than sit here and critique and say things that shouldn't even be said. Anyways, that's my 2 cents, guys.
Unless one thing about people is we're impatient people. We just want the result straight away. We can't wait because it takes time to get there.
Yeah.
With us people, we just want to win straight away.
Yeah.
I don't know, Tolo, if you ever go around in Tonga and join people, all they want to talk about is win. What's wrong with the team? We just want to win. But Mana Otai shared that with me back in 2015. Man, our people's impatient because I want this. I want to build a team. So when this team finish, we don't have to go back to square one and start again.
Can I make a point before you, Isi, please, on what Fatou just said? Let me put this into perspective. These college coaches, and that includes our man Kalani Stake, they're making between $3 million to $5 million, or probably more.
Yeah.
And that's in 1 year.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm trying. Try to grasp that and look at what we have. Our coaches are barely making peanuts. And then you guys have the gall to say that you're impatient. Come on now. BYU, USC, they should have the rights to be impatient because they're paying their coaches that much.
That much.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, Isi, but go ahead, please.
That's how the locals look at it. Win doesn't matter.
Right.
They don't realize if they come and do the job, would they win against New Zealand and Australia straight away? They don't and then they realize how difficult would be to beat more Australia straight away. You need time to develop the players.
Exactly. Yeah.
3 to 4, 5 years, maybe we can beat them. But the difference here, I just want to talk about the difference between the league and the union. You can play for Tonga and New Zealand, and then you can play for New Zealand, and then you can still play for Tonga. So, Kiwis and kangaroos, they play for the Wallabies and All Blacks, they can't play for Tonga. Otherwise, we would have a good team too.
Of course.
Way before the rugby league became what they are now.
Well, what's the difference on that, Isi?
Difference international rugby board here or there's politics,
Of course.
Once you play for New Zealand, then you want to play for Tonga, you have to stand down for, I think, 3 years or something.
Wow.
Now, but before, no.
You stand up for
New Zealand, that's it. Because this is how I look at it. Because the countries like Scotland, Ireland, and them, they don't support the Pacific Island teams. They want to keep them down here.
Of course.
Keep them down here. Because if those players, they used to play
Leave
for
their
the
team.
Wallabies and the All Blacks go back to the islands, they're going to start beating them.
Of course.
And then but how we're going international stage, Tonga and them will probably above them. They don't want that. So every time now Lili allow every time to allow for, or once you play for Tonga, you can't play for anyone else forever. Now it's 3 years. All Blacks have 10 down to 3 years. Look at the rules here. They can play for Australia.
Both, yeah.
But I'm talking about Tonga. No. Stand down there 3 years. Also, 3 years,
Yeah.
Can't play for.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. I IRB's got a lot to do with this,
Yeah.
Man, I think they should make one rule.
And you have to play for years, you have to play for years in a local for that country for a lot of years before you are also eligible to go to another country or play for that country.
maybe they should just go to the Olympics rules and abide by that.
Like 99, when I missed out the All Blacks World Cup in 99, I could have played for Tonga because Tonga was playing the All Blacks. I would love to play against the All Blacks for Tonga in 99, but I had, because I already played for New Zealand, they said, nah, you can't play for New Zealand. Now they changed it to 3 years.
Right.
So I've been there with Tonga, Pacific Island, Gilalo.
Go ahead.
Now, it will start beating them.
Yeah.
Hey, they see the Matematonga, They see the results. That's what they're afraid of.
But
very true.
They now start beating them. There's more funds coming to Tonga.
To Tonga.
So no Tonga tia tu be na urunga falaga Scotland mo me.
They make them look bad.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, they have to live with a tier 2 team and beating them, So they may as well make it tier 1 because if not, they're gonna. It's like guys always saying, "Hey, your cowboys are cowgirls," and then when my cowgirls beat them, have it away.
Cowboys fan?
Of course.
What are you?
It's better to get beat by a tier 1 team than a tier 2 team, Man, this is great stuff. A lot of people is writing in. Nili Latu has also wrote in again. I know it's only a CEO at this point, but how many people are typically on TRU's board? Would it be beneficial to have a seat for representatives of the people nominated and voted by our local teams, and another seat for representative of the players nominated and voted by the players in the national player pool, just for transparency? Sione, that's a very good point.
I'll leave that one for his double.
Okay.
I know there's a CEO point.
There's a lot of clubs been left out from the previous board. And they're so disappointed. That would help. Every time they have a meeting with the CEO, and then
the second question is what I'm puzzled about. I think it goes against what we've been discussing here tonight. That the CEO should pick his staff and coach should pick his staff. But Sione's second question here, would it be beneficial to have a seat for representative of the people nominated and voted by our local teams?
Yeah, I
meaning,
think that's...
for police and all them, Ke na o mai na tolo o piki mai toko ni o CEO.
I think
what do you think about that?
Because the clubs need their voices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, but they also have got to be on the same boat as the CEO.
Yes.
You can't come as a vice CEO and have your own way.
Yeah.
If that's gonna happen, make sure you're on the same boat as the CEO. The other thing is CEO gotta build a relationship with the club rugby, the local players in Tonga. That's the most important thing, build their relationship. And the players side of it, we got players. We already got their seats. So if we needed something to happen with the TRU, we go to them. Hale Tipole is one of the players. He's the him and this group are the people for the players. So we go straight to Harley and them, and they go and talk to the
Voice,
CEO
huh?
for
Okay.
us players.
Okay, I can see a representative from every team, whether it's their team president or someone that they pick, but someone will come in and because in the NFL they have the owners association, players association, and well, of course the NFL, but they also have got to have representatives, and I forgot who it is. Last I remember, Tim, was Gene Upshaw.
Yeah,
Was
I don't
for
know.
the
I
players.
don't know who's the player representative, but yeah, the players has a union too. So
Yeah,
we
of
have a
course.
union.
Yes.
So we make demands and stuff like that. So even the retired player has a hand in it too. So we also have a voice of what happens to us.
My next question for doing
Oh,
EC is what happens if we do have this, and the Players Association becomes strong, and they want players, local players only, to represent? What's your take on that?
Man, it's all about going back to the TIU building a platform for the local players to come through, and because we can't expect them to just come in and jump into the pro world, professional world with the skills and the knowledge that they have.
Right.
We as a TIU, that's the main focus is to build the academies we always complain about.
Right.
But then bring in players or coaches from overseas to help them develop their skills and talent through Tonga Rugby Union.
Right.
I think if Tonga only plays kids from Tonga, they're going to be in a big trouble. I think that the players from overseas help a lot going back to Tonga and play because they're more experienced. They've been out there and playing out in a better competition wise than the competition back in the islands. Plus, you know, they're more experienced. That's just my take. I mean, if I don't see Tonga, I mean, I can see it, but I think they're a lot stronger with outside players from the overseas players. Overseas.
Yeah.
You know, a question. Go ahead, Fidu.
The thing about the Tongan players, their mind, the state of mind is if they get selected for the Igaletahi, they know they're not gonna play, and I'm going on a holiday. I'm not gonna learn. I'm not willing to learn, so I'm just here for the good time. Before I go,
that's the attitude,
you might take with you on tour. You should be willing to learn from the players overseas.
Yep.
A sponge of theirs, like just learn everything. Yeah. Hey, if I'm playing halfback, I'm gonna go to the whoever's starting. Hey man, let me hang around with you. Teach me this. Share your knowledge with me. If I'm like little thing like that, I don't see it all. From 2011 to 2015.
That's how you get better, though. That's how you get better.
Yeah, every players that came from Tonga, none of them learn. They're only there for the ride.
Well, it's just like as a kid coming out of college, going into the NFL. I mean, the older guys are willing to help you.
Yes, I agree.
You know, the older guys are willing to help you if you ask.
Yeah.
And to lead in the right direction.
Hey, it's like the saying, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't force the horse to drink. If the kids don't want to learn, they won't ask. And they won't learn. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Bill, in Tonga, time when what I did was there was a Tonga A, a Tonga A team, and the Tonga A had to travel to Australia and New Zealand So they had the chance to play against some of the Super 12 Super Rugby players. So we came from Tonga to play Waratahs, the Reds,
Right.
some of the Super Rugby players, the teams, all Super Rugby teams, and some of the players there are actually in the Super Rugby teams. And what I did in Tonga, when I picked the Tonga A, I only picked local players. You know, I gave them a chance to show me what you got.
Yep.
And if you haven't got it, and don't blame me if you don't get selected.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
We had 6 weeks on the road with the Tonga A players, all local boys. Yeah? Show me what you got, then I picked you. You know, I think we only one game. We won, I think, one game or two, only against Fiji and Samoa, but we got hammered by the Super Rugby teams. Eh?
Wow.
And that was the opportunity I gave the local players. Okay.
Yeah. Show me what you got.
Yeah. Show me what you got.
Yeah.
Guys, I asked this when Fukahau was here. Eh? I want to ask you guys again. What would it take for Tonga to have a Super 12 team? I know there's got to be sponsorship from somewhere, but is there any chance that we could ever have a Super 12 team in Tonga where our local players are developed and going out playing each week or maybe twice a month or whatever, or however the schedule lays out? But to me, that's the only way for our local players to quicken or get the development out a little faster, is if they are in those competitions weekly or bi-weekly. Because if they sit at home playing in that, man, I'm watching the league this or last week, and I'm like, man, this young get fancy, much like I need, man, bellies out to here, and they're just barely walking, and I'm watching it, I'm saying, man, these guys need to really get down to things if they are really serious about this, and train. There's lack of training.
Like I said before, Bill.
Yeah.
They have nothing to look forward to. I don't see no point of training or putting the extra effort for fitness or so right now they're just doing fun.
Right.
Well, that's the biggest thing is if they don't have a program to push these guys to let them know, they said, well, if you do this, there's going to be a reward for you. If you do well, you know, there's a team that's looking out. There's a team that watching you play, that type of stuff. And it's going to give them incentives for them to know that, oh, the team from New Zealand, they're watching you. If you do this and that, you're going to be able to play for them. But like you said, Fitu, there's no incentive for them at all to perform to a level that. But I'm sure a lot of these kids are talented enough to make it out of Tonga. But like you said, there's no hope. You know, there's nothing for me to play for. So I'll just go drink kava all night and then I'll go play the game tomorrow. So.
Harding, so it'll be good for to have a good chat with him and on his show.
Yeah, that'll be good. If we get a chance to talk with him, that'll be great.
Well, this is what's another point that it's good for Peter Harding to come and be the head of our team. Maybe he knows. Maybe he'll run into people that's willing to come out and help Tonga that way. Because I'm pretty sure people are out there, but they just don't know how to come about, because of the politics that's played into it. So hopefully Peter can change a few of these things, man. I'm rooting for him on that.
I want to ask him too, Bill, because before the Rugby World Cup in 2019, I got a chance to talk to Kefu, to Todai Kefu in Brisbane. I went over there, and then I didn't realize the Tongan schoolboys were in Brisbane, and then saw him there. So we had a good chat about it, and he mentioned to me about too much interference from the board and the CEO, regarding the selections. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. These issues and problems will never go away because of that kind of interference from people who should just do their own job and leave the coaches to his own job. Because when the team's losing, who do you blame?
The coach.
Coach.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's wrap up. Our boss is ready to letting us know to wrap up. So good conversation, man. That's all these topics we're talking about.
Yeah, it sure is. Hey, I'm sorry. I was on the chat with the Chris Malanga, So I'll post when he'll come on. But anyways, Carlo, who do we got next? Peter Alatini, Thursday.
Yeah.
So what time is it, Carlo?
Thank you very much, Isidoro. Thank you, Fedu.
10:30 here.
Subjects we talked about today, but they were very important. So thank you for bringing it up. Like you said, Isidoro, we have to talk about it and move forward.
Right. I mean, these topics.
Come on. Facebook.
And to be honest,
love you, Hans.
But I'm actually, as soon as we finish from here, I'm going to ring up the Tongan rugby girls and say, guess what, girls? We're going to start
a lot of money.
Loads of money.
Hey,
2011, we got, with plus interest, we got loads of money waiting for us.
Hano say he's got $60 for you.
It's in a white envelope too.
Yes,
no,
it's in the talks. It's in the talks. Laker jersey my top.
No, it's in the works right now. So
okay.
Yes.
Malo.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Anyway, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh man.
Don't forget, Tim, you have to go offline.